All right, welcome back to the channel. Max Tornow here. We're in Frankfurt today, a little office for today here. And in this video, I want to talk about how to get paid for your skill, right? So if you're a person that has a skill in any area of their life and you're not getting paid for that yet, or you're not getting nearly paid as much as you'd like to, then pay attention to this video right now because it might just help you get there. In fact, most importantly, if you'd like to attain freedom from that skill so you can work from wherever you want, work whenever you want, and be your own boss, then this video is for you. Let's get started.
Have you ever wondered whether there's more to life than a boring dead-end 9-to-5 job? Have you ever dreamed about breaking free, traveling the world, making good money, and just enjoying life? No more office dress code, no morning commute, no boss. This channel is for you, so here's to your freedom.
The first point here is I just kind of want to complain a little bit about the massive amount of people out there that have an incredibly high skill, but yet they're not getting paid properly for that. In fact, most of these people that have a very high skill are borderline poor. And it doesn't have to be like that. And the reason why I wanted to tell you that is I give you an example, a very good example of one of my ex-roommates. That was way back in the days when I was studying at the University of Vienna. And I had this exchange student from the States living at the same apartment as me. And can't remember his name, but he was a cool guy and he was incredibly gifted at music. In fact, he was gifted at harpsichord. It's an instrument, it's like a piano type instrument. And he was such a musical genius that one night I was playing guitar in my room, and as he was walking past the room, he just by the way said, like over the shoulder, like, by the way, that B string on your guitar is a quarter too low, and continues to walk into his own room. And I'm like, for me it sounded perfect, and I was a fairly trained musician and I had tuned my guitar, but he heard that the B string on my guitar was a little bit too low, and not even as I was playing the string, but as I was playing the entire guitar in a song. And I thought, this guy is such a genius, and I thought it was sad that the way our system, the way society is structured, that people like him, aka people that have a skill, are not getting paid appropriately for that. And that's my complaint. It should be like that. And if you think about it, there's so many people out there who have an incredible skill, but they're not nearly the best paid people in that. And then there's people who are good at that skill, but they're good at something else, and therefore they're getting paid much more, and they're balling, if you will. They're able to travel the world with their own businesses. So the question really is here, what is it that pays you then, if it's not the skill? Because that is a big issue. Most people think, and pretty please pay attention here, people think it's the skill that pays them, but it is not the skill. It is the following three things that pay them. It's number one, positioning, number two, marketing, and number three, sales. All right, and I didn't invent that game. I wish you'd be just paid purely for the skill, but that's how it is. People who know how to position themselves, just like I'm positioning myself under this glaring sun here in Frankfurt with literally zero clouds on the sky. It's beautiful. It's a little difficult to shoot a video in there though. But it's the people who position themselves well. It's the people who know marketing, basic level marketing. You don't even need to be a marketing genius. And it is the people who know sales who end up getting paid. And this is very, very important. All right. And this is, for example, something that we teach in our very, very beginner program for Freedom Business Mentoring, how to position yourself in a market as a niche provider, be it in online coaching, online consulting, or online service providing. Don't try, I can literally give you a couple tips here. Don't try to become this general expert for everything. Good example is fitness niche, right? A lot of people say, I'm a general expert for fitness. And of course, if you know things on workout and nutrition, you can help anybody, right? But if you go too broad, you can't really specialize on people. And if you can't specialize people, you can't position yourself for a high-paid VIP program. You want to be positioned properly, right? So as a musical person, you want to position that specific people in a certain branch, right? Specific people who want to play a certain instrument and a certain style on that instrument. We got a client, for example, our client Luke, making I think it was $12,000 a month with guitar coaching, and he's not just the general guitar teacher for everybody. No, he teaches people only how to play certain solos on their guitar, right? So niche positioning. What do I mean by marketing? Well, a lot of people think like, oh, in order to start making their first money with it, in order to make your first $10,000 a month, you have to become this marketing genius, and you have to have a website and a funnel and ads and a YouTube channel. But all these are gimmicks, right? These are not necessary to make your first 10K. Most of our $10,000 plus a month clients don't even have a goddamn website. They're complete nobodies. They don't have a big social media. It's not necessary. Beyond that, once you're cracking around the $20,000 a month, that is where you can start thinking about building a small niche brand with YouTube, Instagram positioning, and so on and so forth. But until then, you don't need any of that, right? All you do is you apply this base level marketing via direct outreach to your potential clients. We call this manual lead generation. This is something we teach our clients in the beginner programs as well. You can literally find places online where your target audience, as you call it, hangs out, right? This could be Facebook groups, can be forums, can be certain hashtags. And then you just reach out to these people. And if you have a script on what to say, what to write, or guidelines on how to write these people and how to get them on a phone call with you to make them excited about becoming your clients, you got it pretty easily. All right, and then obviously, base level sales. No, you do not need to be this crazy gifted salesperson, this natural born salesman. This is this false perception a lot of people have. In reality, it's just knowing how to give value to people and knowing how to pitch. It's very simple. We teach all that in the basic Freedom Business Mentoring Program. So that is what you do, right? That is how easily these things go. And let me just look here. I had another note that I really didn't want to forget, and that is, that's an interesting point. There's a lot of people out there that actually have a skill acquired from their job, right? I gave these two examples of fitness and music, but oftentimes it's simply a skill that you've acquired at your job, right? A lot of people out there have jobs that are connected to social media, that are connected to management, that are connected to team building or team leading. A lot of people out there have skills in copywriting, have skills in website building, programming. There's so many skills out there that are being applied in a job, right? And now you can do two things with that. You can apply this at a job where you can be fired at any point, as we've seen now with the ensuing crisis in 2020. You're not getting paid as much as you could be if you're doing it alone. You have little to no freedom because you have to show up at the office. You can't just leave the country, fly around Europe, fly around Asia, fly around the States, wherever you want. You can't do these things, right? So at the end of the day, ask yourself, why do you want to do this in a job when you can take that exact same skill and apply it via an own freedom business that can be done online, all right? And again, there's so many skills out there of which people didn't even know they can apply that with their own online business, right? And that's why we implemented these free consulting calls. If you never heard of those, you can book a free consulting call with us where we analyze your strengths, where we talk about what current skill set you have, be it from your job or be it from outside your job, and we can literally tell you what model fits well for you, what options you have, how lucrative it could potentially be. Most likely we already have a client making money with this because over the last years we've been working with hundreds of clients, helping them build their own freedom businesses. So it's quite simple. And again, I apologize for being in the sun here, a little sweaty. The end of the day, people oftentimes, I think, they choose their job over their own freedom business because they think becoming self-employed is a gamble. But in reality, it's not becoming self-employed that is a gamble. It's having a job that is a gamble. Again, we've seen it over the last months more than ever before, and this is something I've been telling you for years now. Jobs are not as safe as you think they are, all right? Your parents might think they're safe because your parents started working in the goddamn 60s, 70s, or 80s, right? And for them it was safe, but nowadays companies don't employ employees for decades anymore. You can be fired at any point. You can be replaced by an automatic AI, by machines, by someone else. The company can decide to outsource their job to a third world country because it's cheaper and so on and so forth. Jobs are not the safe thing that can provide you a living for decades anymore. This isn't the case anymore. The real gamble is relying on a job instead of becoming self-employed, because if you try to become self-employed, it might be difficult in the beginning, but if you have someone who helps you get there, it's actually fairly simple. We always joke about it. We always say it's a boring and mundane process, but it works. It gets results. It has been proven to work. I mean, we're literally just spamming client testimonials at this point. We can pop some up here. It works. It's not a magic pill. You obviously have to execute, but it's not rocket science, right? You can get there. So once you know how it works, it's actually fairly simple to get there. And again, you're in control. You can't get fired, right? If there's an ensuing economic crisis, go talk to your mentor, adjust your marketing, adjust your positioning, and work harder, right? And hell, most of our clients, since they're doing online coaching, actually started making more money during the crisis and during the lockdown and the quarantine than before. It's actually really, really crazy. So at the end of the day, to kind of summarize it, there's a lot of people out there with incredible skills, but they're not the ones that are getting paid well. It is not the skill that allows you to get paid well. It is actually positioning, marketing, and sales that allows you to do that, right? If you know how to do these things, if you know how to position yourself properly, if you know basic level marketing and sales, really basic, you can easily get to your first 10K a month with that. as an online coach, as an online service provider. You do not need to have a big brand. You do not need to be super famous. You do not even need to have a website. You do not need ads or any of that. It's just direct outreach, which we teach in our business, in our base level freedom business mentoring program. And being self-employed is not a gamble. Having a job is a gamble. And last but not least, the last piece of advice I'd like to give you here is speed of implementation. That is one thing that I really say is really important. And I'll give you an example. We came here to Frankfurt. We're actually on our way to Zurich. We just have around 6 hours here in the city to just kind of explore around, shoot this video and enjoy, work a little bit. And we actually had a different flight booked, and I think a couple hours before that flight got canceled. And instead of throwing the hands in the air saying it doesn't work, we said we want to go to Zurich. Speed of implementation, instantly find another flight. Okay, flight goes over Frankfurt. What can we do in Frankfurt? Let's plan there. Okay, we're going to arrive in Zurich a couple hours later. Let's book a different hotel. Speed of implementation. People who are successful in life in general, not just entrepreneurship, are people who are able to implement things instantly, who are able to execute, who are able to seize an opportunity once it arises. And these are not people that say they're perfectionist and therefore they're procrastinating, because if you say you're a perfectionist, that's actually just an excuse. It's a fancy name for just such a lame excuse. It's a fancy name for an equally lame excuse. You're not perfectionistic, you're literally just procrastinating, and you're at least smart enough to cover it up, right? To cover it up and call it perfectionism. But if you want to get anywhere in life, in general, not even with entrepreneurship specifically, then you have to implement speed of implementation. You have to seize an opportunity and execute right away, and that is only how you get things done. That is how I started getting things done in my life in general. That is how I started getting things done with my very first business, the dating advice business that allowed me to make 7 figures a year, very simply. And that is what I'm implementing now with my business consulting. I've always done that. That's something that I've always been proud of. That's something that has always brought me the results that I wanted. That simple, all right? So, the best way to get started is to book a free consulting call with us. I mentioned it before. There's a link down in the description below. You click on that link, it brings you to a page. You can read through that page. There's a little bit more information on that page. And then at the bottom of that page, there's an application. It takes you 2 minutes to fill that application out, and then you can book the exact date and time where you want us to call you. The wind, oh my God, feels so good. So anyways, when you say you want to get started with your own freedom business, you want to become your own boss, you want to get paid for your skill, for the amount that you actually deserve, then book that free consulting call with us right now. The only catch is obviously we can only do so many calls a day, meaning if the link still works, we still have a spot open for you. So if you already have a skill and you want to learn how to monetize it, that call is for you. If you're already making some money with it, but you want to learn how to do it more consistently, how to do it online, that call is for you. But even for the off chance where you say, you like the idea of being your own boss, you want to be free, but you have no idea where to start, you have no idea what you could offer to people, you feel a little lost, and that call is for you. As I said before, we can analyze your strengths, we can tell you what exact model fits best for you. We know the market, and we can tell you the exact steps that you need to implement in order to get started. So, let's talk soon. Like I said, there's a link in the description down below. And yeah, I'm gonna head into the shade now because I'm crashing underneath the sun. Let's talk soon. Thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye.
What's up, FBM? So today I just want to share something real quick with you. A couple of days ago, I just made my first client. Also, one thing, now I can provide value to my clients, and it feels really good as well to be able to make this world a bit better with providing value to everyone. And yeah, I'm so grateful to be part of this program, and I just feel like it's just the beginning of this.